Dear students, today our topic is about the basis of life. So now the question is, what is the basis of life? Cell is basically the defined as the basic structural and functional unit of all the living organism. It is the smallest entity that can exist on its own and carry out all the essential life process such as the metabolism, growth and reproduction. All the living things, from bacteria to plants and animals, are composed of one or more cells. So the picture observed that biologically cells are characterized into two main types: prokaryotic cells, which is the simplest cell like the bacteria that lack a membrane bound nucleus and other complex organelles, while the eukaryotic cells are the complex cells like those in the animals and plants and fungi that have a true nucleus and other specialized membrane bound organelles. So now the question is, are the plants and animal cells are the same? So this is the picture observing that plants and animal cells are both eukaryotic cells, meaning they have a membrane-bound nucleus and other organelles. However, they have a several key structural and functional difference. So in our topic, we will discuss one by one each organelles in respect to their function in both plants and animal cells. So the first organelle, which is called the cell wall, in the plant cell, the cell wall is basically rigid layer outside the plasma membrane, typically made up of the cellulose. It's providing the structure and protection to the plant cell. While in the animal cell it is absent and only a flexible plasma membrane is present. So they have a several key structural and functional difference between the function of the cell wall. So in the plant cell, the first function is cell wall is giving structural supports and shape to the plant cell. Second, it gives the protection and defense to the plant cell. Third one, it regulates the water and nutrients transport inside and outside to the plant cell wall. And fourth one, it helps to communicate the cells with the other cells. The second and common part in plant and animal cell is the cell membrane. So cell membrane is the outer lining of the cell which enclose all other cell organelles, also known as the plasma membrane and semi-permeable membrane. So basic function of the plasma membrane or cell membrane is the support and protection against all the events. We will discuss their function one by one with this picture. Here we observing the 8 different function of the plasma or the cell membrane. The first function is the barrier and protection. Basically, the plasma membrane serve as a crucial barriers and provide protections through the cell primary structure and property of the selective permeability. The second function is the selective permeability, meaning it carefully controls the substances which pass through from outside and inside of the cell. The third function is the receptors for the signals, mean it have the ability to communicate and recognize. The membrane contains receptors proteins that detect the signals like the hormones and neurotransmitters from the environment, which allow changes and threats contributing to the survival and overall protection of the cell. The fourth function is the active transport. It basically the transport of the toxins and the nutrients specialized through transport proteins, which bring essentially nutrients like the glucose and ions into the cell. Also have the ability to remove the metabolic waste products and toxic substances outside to the cell. The fifth function is the cell and recognition. It will help in the communication and recognitions of the cell. The sixth function is the cell adhesion, where a lipid bilayer embedded protein is critical. Molecules help to locate them and adhere them with other cell. The seventh function is the exocytosis. It's mean the exocytosis, which is the process of transporting materials outside of the cell. The eighth function is the endocytosis. It's mean internalizing the outside essential nutrients to the inside of the cell. So these are the eight different essential functions of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. The second common part of the animal and the plant cell is the cytoplasm. The picture observing that it is the fluid substances that fill the cell. All the cell organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm. So the main function is it maintain the osmotic concentration of the cell and prevent them from bursting and shrinking. It's mean all the organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm. The third most common part of the plant and animal cell is the nucleus. So, nucleus can be defined as the membrane bound organelles, spherical in shape. Most of the activities are present in the nucleus. So, the main function of the nucleus it consists of the set of the genes into the nucleus and also contains the genetic material which we call the DNA. In some cases, the nucleolus is also present, which is the dark stain object, and it's mostly function as help in the protein synthesis. So this can be explained with the function of the nucleus. So the main function of the nucleus is that it help in the heredity. For example, all the genetic information is present in the nucleus. Second, it help in the DNA replacement and repair mechanism. Fourth one, it also help in the transregulation, for example, transportation of the mRNA or synthesis, ribosomes regulations, protein synthesis, and cell-cell cycle interactions or cell cycle biological interaction. So this is some of the functions of the nucleus present in the cell. The fourth and the most common part of the animal and plant cell is the mitochondria. Basically, the mitochondria is the largest organ of the cell known as the powerhouse of the cell that are basically spherical and rod-shaped organelles enveloped by a double membrane. So the function of the mitochondria is that the conversion of the glucose to high energy molecule which we call the ATP is occur in the mitochondria. So we explain now the function of the mitochondria. There are different functions. The first function is the calcium signaling. All the signal process of calcium present in the endoplasm, reticulum or the mitochondria. At apoptosis regulation, heat production, steroid synthesis, cellular respiration, and electron transport chains productions or glucose chain which we call the exocytosis, all the events are present in the mitochondria. The fifth organelle which we call the endoplasmic reticulum, it is the large network of the interconnected membrane tunnels which are composed of rough endoplasm reticulum and the smooth endoplasm reticulum. So these are some of the function of the endoplasm reticulum. The first function is that all the proteins which are synthesized in the mitochondria now can be folded and synthesized and transport toward the Golgi apparatus. The second function is that all the lipids and the steroid synthesis occur in the endoplasm reticulum. The detoxification mechanism and protein folding and synthesis occur in the endoplasm reticulum. The sixth and the most common part between plant and animal cell is the ribosome organelle. So basically these organelles are found in the endoplasm reticulums. The basic function help in the protein synthesis. So in this picture it has been observing that the main growing polypeptide chain only present in the ribosomes. So this picture showing that the proteins have been synthesized in the ribosomes with the help of the large and small subunit of the ribosomes. The eighth and the most common part of the between the plant and animal cell is the vacuole. Vacuoles are the organelles for the storage. For example, the small membrane-bound vacuoles filled with the fluid and the water are present in the animal. In plant cell, the vacuoles perform function of the secretion, excretion, and the storage. So the function can be explained in this picture. For example, in the plant cell, the main function of the vacuole is the water storage, the turgor pressure, nutrient storage, all the pigments storage, all the wastes or toxins breakdown present in the vacuole. So vacuole make a essential role in the plant cell. So now the organelle that are only present in the animal cell is the lysosome. So we can define the lysosome as the membrane-bound organelle that contain the digestive enzymes which break down the waste products and detoxify the cell. It is present only in the animal cell and it is not present in the plant cell. So there are some interesting functions of the lysosome in the animal cell. For example, the autophagy uh, phenomena is present in the lysosome. All the digestions, recycling present in the lysosome, endocytosis process, nutrients release, secretions, digestions, and recycling. All the events, also the cell repair mechanisms is present in the lysosome. So this is the general difference between the animal cell and the plant cell, that is only difference in the lysosome which is only present in the animal cell. Now we can compare between the plants and the animal cell on the basis of their function. So the first organelle which we discuss is the cell wall. Cell wall is basically made up of the cellulose which is present almost in all plant cell but it is absent in the animal cell. Plastids, which is the one of the organelle which is only present in the plant cell, which we also called as the leucoplast, chloroplast, and the chromoplast, which is present in the plant cell, while in the animal cell it is absent. The chloroplast in the plant cell, it is the chloroplast which give green color to the plant cell, while in the animal cell it is absent. The vacuoles in the plant cell, it give cell sac containing vacuoles are present, while in the animal cell vacuoles are usually absent or one or more small vacuoles are seen in the animal cell. The lysosomes are not present in the plant cell, while in animal cell lysosomes are present and in the cytoplasm. The nucleus in the plant cell, due to presence of the vacuole at the center of the cell, nucleus may be located at the edge of the cell or the corner of the cell, while in the animal cell nucleus is usually located in the center of the cell. The Golgi bodies which is present in the plant cell have many simpler units of the Golgi complex called vedectosomes, while in the animal cell they have a single high elaborated Golgi complex is present. Endoplasm reticulum organelles are present in both plant and animal cell. Locomotions. So in the plant cell, most plants do not have the movement ability, while the animal cell can easily be locomoted. Growth and development keep growing throughout their life are localized in their apical meristematic cells in the plant cell, while in the animal cell their growth stop after maturation, but body cells are replaced periodically. So on the basis of the cell shape and the structure, in the plant cell they are rigid, fixed, rectangular shapes, while in the animal cell they lack the rigidity or round and irregular shape. So this is the general similarities and difference between the plants and animal cells on the basis of their organelles and respect to their function. So this is all about the difference between the plant and animal cell. Thank you so much.